Hello, my friends. Happy end of August. Yes, I'm sorry to be the one to tell you, but September is on the horizon. Today's episode of our Wellness Wednesday podcast is an interesting one. I'm going to explain to you what the 1978 Trooper song, Raise Little Hell, Douglas Adams' Life, the Universe, and Everything, and having your happiest, healthiest, most fulfilling life all have in common. Have a listen. Let me know what you think. I would love to hear your comments and feedback. Send me a message. Leave comments on Apple. Leave comments on Google, wherever it is that you listen to podcasts. And I hope you're having an amazing day. Talk to you soon. Hi, my friends. Welcome. This is the Back to Me podcast, and this is Heather, and I am super excited that you're here. You are going to hear some tips and some tricks and some ideas to help you live your happiest and healthiest self. I call it Back to Me because when you are taking care of yourself, back to me, then you can take better care of others, and we can all make the world a better place. This is Wellness Your Way, and I am super happy that you're here. Hello, my friend. How are you? I hope you're having an amazing day. Depending on when you're listening to this weekend is going to be Labor Day weekend. Boom, my mind is blown how fast summer has gone and how long winter can last. Even though they're kind of the same length of time, just one seems to go faster than the other. So you might be wondering today's topic, life, the universe, and everything. And I've had a weird convergence of thoughts that have come together, and I'm going to share them all with you. So the topic of today's Wellness Wednesday is actually boundaries. But as I was driving and thinking about boundaries, you can tell my age by what I was listening to. It was a little bit of Trooper. I was listening to the song Raise a Little. Can I say hell on a podcast? I think I can say it. Raise a Little Hell. It's a song. It was played on the radio. I'm pretty sure they didn't buzz out the word. And I was thinking about a client that I had been working with. So I am far from perfect, by the way. Just going to put that right up there. I never want to be perfect. And if you ever want to know the story of why I never want to be perfect, give me a ring and I'll let you know the story of why I never, ever want to be perfect. I always want to be just me and working on being better at being me. So that said, I was working with a client and I was encouraging them to look at something in a different way or to change. I don't want them to necessarily change. That's the wrong phrase, but to help them see something different and to push back. And what I got back was pushback from them, which was, I was so happy to see that pushback. It's, arguing back with me because I wanted this person to feel what it would feel like to stand up for themselves. And I didn't tell them that that's what I was doing, but I got some pushback and I was really happy. And they saw maybe a different way to be. So this is where boundaries come in. Sometimes we think that we need to be a certain way. We've been taught to be polite, mind your P's and Q's, say please and thank you, don't argue, sit quietly, depending on how old you are and what environment you were brought up in. And you don't develop the stand up for yourself muscle or the I don't want to do that because I don't want to do that muscle. I mean, peer pressure comes into it as well quite often. That's a different kind of pressure, but it's a different kind of boundary. But being able to say, no, I'm not going to jump off that cliff with all you guys. You can go ahead without me. I'll see you at the bottom. I'm going to walk down. We are hardwired to want to belong to the tribe because that's where survival is, right? That's our hardwiring. But we don't necessarily need to belong to the tribe right now if it's not healthy for us. So I invite you to think about the circumstances that you find yourself in. Do you find yourself walking on eggshells? Do you find yourself saying yes when you want to say no? Do you find yourself in situations where you think to yourself, oh, this isn't what I wanted? This isn't anywhere that I planned to be. You can change it, by the way. You can stand up, right now and say, nope, not doing this anymore, changing my life. If you fall back into it, it might be a habit, and that's a whole different pattern of things to examine. But you don't have to stay in any situation you don't want to stay in. Unless, I mean, yes, you can argue with me that if you're incarcerated, you have to stay there. But that's a whole different situation. I'm talking in general, okay? So where does this come to? Where does Raise a Little, and where does Raise a Little Hell come into this by Trooper? By the way, I think that was 1978. And what the heck is Life, the Universe, and Everything got to do with it? So when I was driving, I was listening to the lyrics. And the lyrics were, if you don't, by the way, the grammar is not the greatest. I apologize to my English teacher type friends. But if you don't like what you got, why don't you change it? If your world is all screwed up, rearrange it. There's the wisdom from 1978 telling you, if you don't like it, change it, my friend. And what's that got to do with life, the universe, and everything? Well, I was looking at the lyrics because I wanted to make sure I got the words right and not just making them up. And, they say Raise Little Hell over and over and over again. And for some reason, I decided to count it. They say it 42 times in the song, which, by the way, is the answer to the ultimate question of life, the universe, and everything. So obviously, Trooper was answering the question of life, the universe, and everything by telling you that if you don't like what you got, why don't you change it? And one of the best ways to change it, well, first, the things that I like to bring in is there are 6 aspects to wellness. I know we talk about physical wellness. When I talk about wellness, people think, oh, I'm healthy, I eat well, and I exercise. There's more aspects than that. There is the physical, there is emotional, there is financial, there is relationships, there's professional. Even if you're retired, you can still have a profession, for lack of another word to say. I have a client who calls it her beloved vocation. So you're probably still doing something, right? And spiritual, which just means, what do you feel is your larger purpose in the universe? Or do you feel like you are living a life that you want to look back on? So the answer to life, the universe, and everything apparently is Raise a Little Hell. If only we could go back and tell Douglas Adams what the answer was. But seriously, I know I'm being a little tongue-in-cheek today, but I was having a good time with this one. So boundaries are a great place to start. But so all those aspects of wellness, being aware that you are in a situation that you don't want to be in, that's your first step, right? I can remember massive changes that I've made in my life where I was going along and I didn't know what I didn't know. I didn't know that I was somewhere I didn't have to be. And something just smacked me up the side of the head. And I kind of shook my head and thought, oh my gosh, it's like I got woken up. How did I get here? And for the first time it happened, that's a long story. It took me a couple of years to unentangle myself from that particular situation. So I get it. I totally get it. But you can change things. You can rearrange it. You can decide to do something different. And one of the first ways, get your awareness, decide you want it different, set some boundaries. And you'll get pushback in the beginning if it's something that you've always folded to or agreed to or accepted treatment or whatever it is. If you've always accepted it, when you start saying no, you're going to get pushback. And if you know that in advance, it's helpful. And be okay with it, right? It will closing some doors will open other doors. That's how we make space for something new. And that's how we're going to rearrange it to the immortal words of Trooper. We're going to raise a little hell, my friends. If you are interested in just having a conversation on how you could, rearrange your own life, obviously, always, maybe it's not obvious, but always you can reach out to me. I include my contact information in all the show notes. You can DM me, you can send me an email, you can, whatever works for you. And don't forget, this Friday, my friend, I'm talking to Kathy Bartel, and we're talking about how to show up as you on video. I mean, she is a video coach, but we're talking about it can be hard to show up as you, and the power in showing up as you. Hopefully, that feels powerful to you, and how to approach life so that you can be your best you. I hope you tune in for that. By the way, if you haven't subscribed to the Apple Podcasts or the Google Podcasts, these things are over on Apple and Google Podcasts and Spotify, all those places. I would really super awesomely appreciate it if you went over and subscribed. Give a little like, give some comments. That would be amazing. And if you need help, as I was saying, if you need some assistance, if you need a conversation, just send me a message. I would be super happy to talk with you. Take care, my friend. Have an amazing week. Take care. I'll see you soon. Hi, my friend. Thanks so much for listening to this entire podcast. If you found it useful and you're like me and you like helping others, please feel free to share this. Just give it a like, give it a comment. If you found something useful in it, there's a chance that someone else will find something useful as well. Also, if you have any questions at all, I can absolutely help, and I would love to help. You can email me at heather@prosperityflowcoaching.com. If you want more of this awesome content, you can follow me on Instagram, Heather Stewart Coaching. You can follow me on Facebook, Prosperity Flow Coaching. And I have a personal request. I want to help as many people as I can with these podcasts. And if you could give me a review, hopefully a good one, if you could share, if you could send this out into the world, I would truly appreciate it. I hope you have an amazing day, and I hope that you find your way to wellness by getting back to me. Take care, my friend.